Did you know that over 30% of child abductions happen within just a few blocks from home? And yet every day, millions of kids are sent outside to play alone, often without realizing the potential dangers lurking nearby. As parents, we want nothing more than for our children to feel free, explore the world, and grow up happy. But how do we balance that freedom with keeping them safe? It's one of the toughest questions we face. And today, I'm going to help you answer it. When my son was 6, I remember standing at the window watching him ride his bike down the street for the first time. My heart was racing, not because he couldn't handle the bike, but because I didn't know if I could handle letting him go. In this video, I'm going to share some hard truths about the risks of letting kids play outside alone. But don't worry, this isn't meant to scare you. Instead, it's designed to prepare you. By the end, you'll have practical tools and strategies to keep your child safe while still giving them the independence they need to thrive. Let's talk about why this conversation matters. Every year, thousands of children face preventable dangers when playing outside unsupervised. These aren't just abstract risks. They're real-life situations that happen in neighborhoods just like yours. For example, did you know that vehicle-related accidents are one of the leading causes of injury for kids under 14? It's not just busy streets either. Even quiet cul-de-sacs can become dangerous if a driver isn't paying attention or if a child darts into the road unexpectedly. And then there's the issue of stranger danger. While most people are kind and trustworthy, it only takes one bad actor to change everything. According to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, nearly 800,000 children are reported missing each year in the US alone. Many of these cases involve children who were simply playing outside without supervision. But it's not just strangers we need to worry about. Environmental hazards are everywhere. Things like ponds, construction sites, abandoned buildings, or even poorly lit parks after sunset. A curious child might wander too far or try to climb something unsafe, and suddenly, a fun afternoon turns into an emergency situation. I'll never forget reading about a family whose 8-year-old daughter went missing during what was supposed to be a quick bike ride around the block. She ended up following a shortcut through some woods she thought she knew, but got disoriented and spent hours lost before being found by search teams. These stories aren't shared to scare you. They're here to remind us how quickly things can go wrong, even in familiar places. But here's the good news. Awareness is power. When we understand the risks, we can take steps to protect our kids while still giving them room to grow. Now that we've covered why this topic is so important, let's dive into the top dangers you need to be aware of before letting your kids play outside alone. These are real risks, but don't worry, I'll also share tips on how to address them. First up, stranger danger. We've all heard the phrase, "don't talk to strangers," but it's not always as simple as it sounds. Predators often target unattended children because they're more vulnerable. Teach your kids what stranger really means. Not everyone who seems nice is safe. Role-play scenarios with them so they know exactly what to do if someone approaches them inappropriately. For example, if a stranger asks for help finding a lost pet or offers candy, tell them to say no and immediately walk away. Make sure they understand that no adult should ever ask a child for help. That's a red flag. And here's a tip. Instead of telling kids not to talk to strangers, teach them to look for trusted adults in uniforms, like police officers or store employees, if they ever feel unsafe. Next, let's talk about traffic hazards. Cars are one of the biggest threats to kids playing outside, whether they're riding bikes, skateboarding, or just running around. Teach your child basic road safety rules early on. Always stop, look, and listen before crossing the street. Avoid wearing headphones or using phones near roads. They can distract from hearing approaching vehicles. Be especially cautious in driveways and parking lots where drivers may not expect kids to be present. If possible, set boundaries for where they can play, areas away from busy streets or blind spots. Another major concern is environmental hazards. Ponds, Rivers, abandoned buildings, construction sites, all of these can pose serious risks. For example, water is incredibly dangerous. Even shallow ponds can lead to drowning if a child slips or panics. Teach them never to go near bodies of water without an adult. Construction sites and abandoned buildings might seem exciting to explore, but they're full of hidden dangers like sharp objects, unstable structures, or toxic materials. Set clear boundaries and explain why certain areas are off limits. And don't forget about weather conditions. Extreme heat, cold, or storms can catch kids off guard. Make sure they know to come inside if the weather changes suddenly. Peer pressure is another danger that often gets overlooked. Older kids might encourage younger ones to take risks, like climbing too high, venturing into unsafe areas, or engaging in reckless behavior. Talk to your kids about standing firm when something feels wrong. Encourage open communication so they feel comfortable telling you if someone pressures them to do something unsafe. Bullying is also a risk. Kids playing outside alone might encounter bullies who intimidate or harm them. Teach your child how to respond confidently and seek help if needed. Finally, let's talk about technology. Phones, tablets, and headphones can distract kids from noticing their surroundings. They might not hear a car approaching or realize they've wandered too far. Set ground rules for tech use outdoors. For instance, no phones or headphones while biking or walking near roads. Keep devices tucked away unless they're actively checking the time or contacting you. Consider equipping them with tools like a GPS tracker or emergency whistle instead. That way, they have a way to call for help without relying solely on their phone. Now that we've covered the dangers, let's talk about how you can prepare your child to stay safe while playing outside alone. The goal here isn't to scare them, it's to equip them with the tools and knowledge they need to make smart decisions. The first step is setting clear boundaries for where they're allowed to go. Kids thrive on structure. Define safe zones and no-go areas up front. For example, tell them they can play in the backyard or at the park across the street, but not beyond those limits. Use landmarks to help them remember boundaries, like and go as far as Mrs. Smith's mailbox, but no farther. If your child is older, you can gradually expand these boundaries as they prove they can handle more responsibility. Next, teach your child essential safety skills. These are life lessons they'll carry with them forever. Start with the basics. Memorize important phone numbers, including yours and emergency services. Know their full name, address, and how to describe where they live if they get lost. Role-play different scenarios so they know exactly what to do in tricky situations. What if a stranger approaches them? Practice saying no firmly and walking away. What if they feel scared or lost? Teach them to find a trusted adult in uniform or go to a nearby safe spot like a store or neighbor's house. Another great tip: give them a code word. If someone claims to be sent by you, like a friend or family member, they must say the code word. If they don't know it, your child knows not to trust them. Sometimes a little preparation goes a long way. Consider equipping your child with tools to keep them safer outdoors. Here are some ideas. A whistle or personal alarm they can use to attract attention if they're in trouble. A GPS tracker or smartwatch so you can monitor their location without hovering. An emergency contact card with your phone number and other important info tucked into their pocket or backpack. These tools aren't meant to replace supervision. They're there to give both you and your child peace of mind. Finally, remember that independence isn't built overnight. It's a process. Start small and increase freedom as your child demonstrates readiness. For younger kids, begin with supervised playdates or short trips to the mailbox. Gradually allow them to play in the front yard while you watch from inside. Let them walk to a friend's house down the street, but check in regularly. As they grow older, eventually they'll earn the privilege of longer solo outings, like biking around the block. The key is to communicate openly throughout this journey. Ask questions like, how did it feel being outside alone today? Was there anything that made you uncomfortable? This builds trust and ensures they feel supported every step of the way. While preparing your child is crucial, there's also a lot you can do as a parent to create a safer environment for them and for other kids in your neighborhood. Here are some key actions you can take. It's natural to feel anxious when your child is out of sight, but hovering too closely can hinder their growth. Instead, practice smart supervision. Keep an eye on them from a distance if possible, like peeking out the window or stepping outside occasionally. Use technology like GPS trackers to monitor their location without making them feel smothered. The goal is to strike a balance between giving them freedom and ensuring they're safe. One of the best ways to keep kids safe is by working together as a community. Reach out to other parents in your area to form networks of support. For example, organize group play dates so kids aren't alone outside. Create a buddy system where kids always have a friend with them when playing outdoors. You can also start a neighborhood watch group or chat thread to stay informed about any suspicious activity in the area. There's strength in numbers, and knowing your neighbors can make a huge difference. Take an active role in improving your community's safety. If there are areas near your home that seem unsafe, like poorly lit streets, broken sidewalks, or abandoned buildings, speak up. Contact local authorities or city officials to request better lighting, crosswalks, or signage. Push for more community programs like after-school activities or supervised playground hours to give kids structured places to play. Small changes can have a big impact, and advocating for safer spaces benefits everyone, not just your own family. Everyone deserves to live in a neighborhood where kids can thrive. Finally, trust your gut as a parent. If something feels off, whether it's a new neighbor, an unfamiliar vehicle parked nearby, or even your child acting differently after being outside, don't ignore it. Investigate further. Parental instincts are powerful tools. You know your child and your neighborhood better than anyone else. Sense a potential issue, address it head on. It's always better to be cautious than to regret not acting later. All right, parents, covered a lot of ground today, from understanding the risks to preparing your child and taking steps to make your neighborhood safer. Here's the most important thing to remember: awareness plus preparation plus peace of mind. The world isn't perfect, but with the right tools and mindset, we can give our kids the gift of safe independence, learn how to navigate challenges, gain confidence, and grow into capable, resilient individuals, all while staying safe. Before you go, I need your help spreading this message. If you found this video valuable, please hit that like button and share it with other parents who might benefit from these tips. Together, we can create safer communities for all our children. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more parenting advice and resources. Every week, we dive into topics just like this one to help you raise happy, healthy, and safe kids. One last question for you. What's the biggest worry you have about letting your kids play outside alone? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you, and I'm sure other parents would too. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, you're doing an amazing job. Keep being the superhero your kids need, and I'll see you in the next video.